Hey everyone, it's Tyler Esselman.
And it's Michael Osinski.
And you are listening to This One Goes to 11.
This One Goes to 11 is the podcast where we invite someone to join us in our virtual living room to share what they believe is a perfect album.
So perfect, in fact, Michael, that 10 out of 10 just isn't good enough. Now, here's a question for you. What would you rate the day that you had? How out of 11? Yeah, today. How was today for you? Mine was like a 6. So, you know, that's why there's drinking going on today.
I mean, I don't know, like 6.5, 7. Okay. I don't know. It was a weird, it was a gray day.
We're on the same page.
So, yeah, like it was a gray day, but like it being a gray day meant that my commute back from teaching today was everyone worked from home except for me. So like I was, it was a nice, easy commute from New Jersey where there are no left turns.
Is that like a law? There's no left turns?
No, there's a lot of areas where they don't have, you can't just like make a direct left turn. They have these like jug handles that you have to like, and it's like, hey, left turn, go this way. And you have to like go all the way around. You also cannot pump your own gas in New Jersey.
Like Oregon. Oregon, you can't do that either.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this will be on our civic planning podcast that you can enjoy coming to you this spring from This One Goes to 11 Industries.
Oh my God! No, if we're gonna have multiple podcasts, we have to come up with a better name for our production company.
Yeah,
it'll be some sort of inside joke. That's what we got. We got to figure that out for the year-end retrospective. What's our podcast company name?
I'll add that to the to-do list. We got a great guest today, somebody we're very excited to have, somebody who is a fellow TTS alum. Add him to the list. Michael, who are we talking to today?
We are talking to Jamar Gilbert.
Jamar, a native of Mississippi, is a graduate of the theater school at DePaul University, where he earned a BFA in acting in 2016, just a year after I did. Now based in Los Angeles, he has established a distinguished on-screen career with notable appearances in acclaimed television series such as Perimeter on BET, Shameless on Netflix, Chicago Med on NBC, Justified, City Primeval on FX, CSI Vegas on CBS, and Work in Progress on Showtime, and more. His stage work is equally commendable, with performances in esteemed productions at Writers Theater in Chicago, Studio Theater in Washington, D.C., and most recently, the Geffen Playhouse in Los Angeles. Jamar is proudly represented by Innovative Artists and Rebel Creative Group, and continues to bring depth and authenticity to every role he undertakes, both on stage and on screen, and he's on your screen right now, people. That is Jamar Gilbert. What's up, buddy?
What's up, y'all?
I felt really good about that delivery, by the way. I was on a roller coaster right there, so I hope you felt good about that.
I was like, man, I'm the shit. Yeah.
You are. Welcome, my friend. How you been?
Glad to be here with y'all. This is so fun.
Well, so it should be noted that you and I met, you slept in my dorm one time.
You never speak about that, Tyler.
Well, that's all we'll say is that when Jamar was visiting TTS, that I hosted him, a young Jamar, just sprightly fella, and we had a great time. Me showing you the ropes. I hope you had a great time at least.
Oh man, I had a great thing. One thing I remember mostly about that stay, I was taking my first ballet class back at my performing arts school, and a teacher had been working on me, like learning how to plie and like drop down into my jumps and everything. And I think I was staying on the top bunk, and I got up in the morning and jumped down, and I was like quiet into my plie. He was like, "Oh wow, do you dance?" Like I was so silent. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in this school. I did it."
Did you and Michael? Did you guys work together at all?
No, Jamar and I never worked together. I don't think, right?
No?
I don't think so. I always wanted to, but we kept ships passing in the night.
Well, because if you graduated in 2016, that meant that we only had like a couple quarters where you were in the casting pool.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember. Do we dare go down this road? Do you remember what you were in your third year, your first 2 quarters?
Gosh, I think. Well, I know one of them was Killing Game. Because it was just such
that one.
a fun show because the cast was massive. It's like a whole cast was in that. Killing Game and maybe a children's play.
Yeah.
If you,
like
You were in the Mozart one,
that,
weren't you?
Wait. If you were in that, that means that you were never in the casting pool when I was directing.
Yes, I think you might have been gone by that point.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Well, in any case, I hope it happens at some point because Jamar, you would fit just like a glove in the extended Osinski universe. There's massive IP opportunities in Michael Osinski's head, and we just haven't tapped them adequately.
We got to get in there.
Gotta be my agent, Tyler.
I'm on it, bro. Okay, Jamar, we have a very serious purpose for you coming tonight. We know the artist that you are, that you have good opinions about things, that you have good taste, and so we figured that you'd be just the person to come on here and make a case for what you believe is a perfect album. So tell the people, what hast thou brought before This One Goes to 11 tribunal today?
I bring forth to the tribunal one of the greatest albums of all time. Definitely my favorite rap album of all time.
Okay.
From a Chicago artist known by the great name of Lupe Fiasco. His second album, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool.
That was perfect.
That was good.
That was great. Great. Listen, I had not truly given this album its due before this, so this was a great journey into this. It's capacious. This is a long album.
It's a little, yeah.
I would say it's a journey. Michael, had you listened to this album before?
No, I definitely hadn't listened to this album before, and I have listened. It's so weird because I don't know if this is the best place to listen to it in, but like the past 2 Sundays, it took me the entire time to do my laundry at the laundromat. So I was listening to it while doing laundry, and I don't know. I think there's an interesting disconnect there, but it actually, forced me to like really pay attention to the lyrics to avoid like some weird things that were happening in front of me while I was just trying to fold my laundry.
It's the perfect.
We might need to touch back on that because I actually think that was probably a pretty good setting for it. But for those people who may not have been familiar with the album or with Lupe, outside of his many features on like top, he's all over the top of the charts in the early aughts. But if you may not know who he is, then we do have a very convenient segment to get people up to speed, and that segment is known as the Beginner's Guide to Lupe Fiasco's The Cool in 60 seconds. And Michael, you're doing it today, aren't you?
I am, but do we have to say the Beginner's Guide to Lupe Fiasco's The Cool? Or do we just do? I mean,
truly, that would be proper. Lupe Fiasco's The Cool in 60 seconds. So, Jamar, at one time we did points. We gave points for things, but we no longer do that. We're on more of a qualitative assessment these days. But as you build your case for why this album is perfect, Michael is going to undertake this challenge of summarizing Lupe and the context of this album in 60 seconds, and you get to assess how he does in whatever terms you see fit. Make sense?
The power it's already corrupted me.
I can see it coursing through your veins.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
If we learn nothing from Emperor Palpatine, that's what. That's it.
What a great.
Michael, do you feel ready for this challenge?
I guess so. I did a little bit of cheating on this one, but you know what? Life happens. So
it does happen.
let's put it this way. I feel better about the parts of this that are 100% me, is what I will say.
That's great.
Without revealing the way I put this together, I think you all know what I mean when I'm saying that.
All right. Well, I've got 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go. We're starting in 3, 2, 1.
Before Kendrick was king and J. Cole went platinum with no features, there was Lupe Fiasco, from a city in the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world. Born Wasalu Muhammad Jacko Fiasco, an avid gamer and martial artist, burst onto the scene in the mid-2000s with food and liquor, serving up conscious rap with a side of anime references and laser-sharp wordplay. But it was his 2007 follow-up, The Cool, that cemented his status as hip-hop's resident philosopher-poet. Strongly influenced by the death of Fiasco's father and friend, as well as the imprisonment of his business partner, The Cool builds a loose narrative around the character of of the Cool from his previous album, and two people who try to change his life, the streets and the game. It's part cautionary tale, part gothic rap opera, often throwing shade at the industry's allergy to intelligence. And at one point, there were even plans to develop a radio show and comic book around the album. Along the way, there's been a little drama. Yes, he may not have been Obama's biggest fan, but that's just his style, quoting Noam Chomsky in one breath and dropping a Dragon Ball Z bar in the next, because there's no way he's going to dumb it down.
Ooh, 3 seconds to spare. Okay.
Yeah.
There's those beeps.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel sort of all right about that, but I'm ready for my evaluation, Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, how was that, Jamar? How was that?
You know your audience dropping the anime and the Dragon Ball Z references in there. That alone puts you. I think overall I would give you a B+ on it. B+.
I'm happy with that. Yeah. Let me ask a follow-up question. If I had managed to work in a Go-Go Gadget reference in there somewhere, could I have gotten an A-?
Oh man, you would have been top of the class. But yeah.
Okay. All right.
You gotta have some room for improvement there.
That's exactly it, right?
It's true.
You gotta set the bar.
Set the bar high. Also opening with my two other favorite rappers, Kendrick and J. Cole, was like, you're off to a great start here.
Well, thank you for that. But before we dive into the album, we like to start with something a little more general. We like to ask all of our guests what their own relationship with music is, writ large, as Tyler Usselman likes to say. So tell us, what place does music have in your life?
Music is one of my escapes. I constantly want to like listen to music whether I'm driving, walking, working out. It's like my mood setter, my like thing that keeps me at peace and balance. It's also like a window to like dive into my inner psyche, figure out the atmosphere of Jamar for the day. And it's always been that way, but especially around the time that I came into contact with Lupe, during those like preteen era where all the angst and emotions were running around trying to make sense of them. Music was a good like channeler and focuser to figure out how I was feeling. It's been that way to this day. Like I feel like if I can have the right song for no matter what the moment I'm going through, that moment could get instantly better. But yeah, it's my piece. It's my soundtrack.
Do you sing? I don't know if I know that about you.
I am in the shower. I'm
okay, great. Okay. I'm a shower singer too. I need not sing anywhere else except for that.
Yeah. If I sing in front of my wife Kayla, it's a comedy show. But mostly rap was always my intro in music. I tried playing guitar during the pandemic, and it was actually going pretty well. Then the world opened back up, and I lost time.
Totally.
But I do want to dive back in. I tell myself if I leave this planet not having learned to play at least one instrument, I'd be pretty distraught. So I'm going to get back on that horse at some point.
It's such a thing. Like this is the thing about any creative thing like that is you just need that. You're so right about needing the time for it, because that's what I find is when you were a kid. See, I was never a skater. I was never a guitar player, because those things require you to just have kind of like meandering time to mess around and experiment and like get hurt if in the case of skating and stuff like that. As an adult, it's one of the tragedies of growing up, right? Is that you lose that unstructured time that you could use to become, ingrained with the guitar or something.
Heck yeah. And the way I like do things, like I want the time, because if I do something, I want to do it all out. I want to like truly commit to it, try to be the best at it. So curse, a blessing and a curse that I have. So so if I don't have time to like really like master this thing, I'm not gonna like half-ass it. Like no, I'll wait till I have enough time blocked off. But as we get older, less and less time seems to come by.
Right.
But, what about you, Michael? Do you play any instruments or anything?
Oh yeah, I took piano from kindergarten through. I was originally going to be a music major in college, but then I was going to have the two most useful majors ever. I was going to be French and music.
Unstoppable.
And then
God love you.
And then when I started befriending people in the theater department in my undergrad, and I was telling my parents, I'm like, I think I'm going to change it from music to a theater major. And they were like, well, just keep the French one because you need to have a useful major.
A backup.
A backup.
Yeah. I mean, I could have. I mean, I could. But now, even now, I'm like, I start realizing, like, I feel like I took the wrong language. Like, I feel like I should know, like, I should know Spanish. I've been applying for a couple jobs, one of which was like, are you fluent in Spanish? And I'm like, no, I'm not. So
I could see you having been a diplomat, like working in a consulate somewhere. That I would write that play of Michael Osinski working in a in a francophone consulate somewhere.
I don't think I'm a diplomatic person.
You don't think?
Not well. Maybe I could be diplomatic on the surface, which is probably what they all do anyway. They're all just like on the surface. Yeah. But
did you have a? So you were coming to DePaul. You Jamar. We're coming back to you. So when I met you, you were just like kind of bright eyed and like so in it, and like so what you're saying about kind of going all out. I could sense that from the moment I met you. When did you know that the kind of acting path was for you? What was that informed by for young Jamar?
Second grade, I knew.
Really?
Second grade, without a shadow of a doubt. So we moved up I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida. We moved to Mississippi when I was in second grade. And the school I was in at the time did this, the second grade school play on the Pledge of Allegiance. And at the time, because I moved up from Florida and I had this like accent and I enunciated all my words and didn't have that Southern twang, they put me in a lead role. And
it goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Did something right for once. But yeah, I got in the play and had never acted before. Nobody in my family has ever been like a public speaker, did any arts, anything like that. And stepped on stage and it just felt like home. It felt like something I could do, and it felt so right. And at that point, second grade, I'm just goofing around. I'm a little kid, but I was able to recognize at that point, like, this is something I never want to let go of. And the more I held on to it, it took me all through performing arts school and elementary and middle and high school, to DePaul, to my wife, to friends, to career. It's like my whole life has been just like pulled to this beautiful place through acting. And I was like, yeah, I'm all in on this.
That's great. That's like, it's the ideal story, right? Is you just kind of have that thing that pulls you through. I feel like I'm like still figuring out what my relationship is with it, like creativity in general, like where the creative spirit lies within me. But it's something I've never doubted that in you and Kayla. You guys have had that really, that's very clear in your partnership.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's get back to Lupe Fiasco though.
Lupe.
So let's 2007. You're just a little bit younger than me, so this was mid-teens, right?
Yeah, mid-teens. Well, seventh grade at that time. Yeah.
Okay. And so what was do you remember the moment that you discovered this album? Do you remember like that first taste of Lupe?
Oh yes. Okay, I'm gonna take it back. 2007. At the time I was living in Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson wasn't the best neighborhood, the best city. Crime was pretty relevant. And young artistic Jalen was getting to the age where he had to know that, like, okay, I'm in a hardened neighborhood. I need to like toughen up a little bit. So everything about my taste and style started to get a little harder. I was listening to, at the time, a lot of Bootsy, Badass, a lot of T.I., Lil Wayne, Jeezy.
Such was the era. That was I feel like Lil Wayne was the 2007 was like peak Lil Wayne.
Peak Wayne, mixtape Wayne. Oh my God. Like you had to know every word to every song of Wayne's mixtapes, or else you couldn't hang out with the fellas. You couldn't talk.
Right.
You getting bullied for not knowing the great album of Wayne. But at the time I was like going through like this like pseudo thug area, like stop smiling on my pictures. I'm being like rough and tough and trying to fit in with this environment. And one of my good buddies, Justin Porter, he was the mixtape kid. Like he had the LimeWire Pro set up. He was like burning CDs for everybody on new music.
Hell yeah.
And I remember chilling with Justin, and he's like, "Yo, have you ever listened to Lupe?" I was like, "Never listened to Lupe, man. Who's Lupe?" He's like, "All right, I'm gonna give you the CD. Don't judge me. Listen to it. Come back to me." He handed me a purple CD with The Cool written on it in a green little CD folder. I remember I have it somewhere around here.
Purple and green? What?
Purple and green. I was like, what is? What are we,
great.
Barney? What is going on? Went home and listened to it, and I felt like Lupe pierced through whatever outer exterior I was trying to develop at that time to like the real nerd in me who was secretly watching anime at the time, who was starting to get a taste for Linkin Park and rock and other things outside of hip hop, but I can never talk about it. Can't talk about Dragon Ball Z too much at school, or the fact that In the End is a damn good song that just felt true. I can't talk about it in the hood of Jackson, Mississippi. What is going on? But here comes Lupe with this ability to storytell, put poetry into rap about things outside of just money, cars, clothes, and hoes. He's rapping about like gun violence, not only in the States, but also overseas. He's rapping about immigration. He's rapping about how the rap industry wants us to accept these like dumbed down narratives when we could be really elevated to like these over the top rhyme schemes and flows about like things outside of just material wealth. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like Lupe seemed to be like the hero or like the black cool nerd that I wanted to be, but didn't have an example of how to do that. And he's doing this and being praised by Wayne and 50 and Nas and all these other like hardcore rappers. And I was like, what? And it just blew my mind, man. And ever since then, like that album was changed the trajectory of who Jamar could be.
That's amazing. And you ended up in Chicago too. So
and I
it
ended
was
up in
like,
Chicago. Best city in the whole wide world.
Best city in the whole wide world. I love that. And I love that he doesn't say it. You know, it's just like it's very, I feel like Chicago rappers are, there's a whole kind of like ecosystem of Chicago rappers. And he was something that I didn't, having not been like really deep into his work beforehand, I didn't kind of recognize where he was in that, like compared to the Kanyes and the Chances and like all those different kind of Chicago rappers. Were you attracted to that kind of Midwest thing, or did it feel like it had a place in this sort of like regional rap conversation? Were you aware of that at all?
He felt so outside the box in the pocket of anything I was listening to at the time. And even still now, I don't know if there are many people who I will put next to Lupe and his style of rap and his approach to Chicago. Although Chicago rap is so like such a
diverse,
diverse pool on its own, because like Chance doesn't rap like Ye, which doesn't rap like Chief Keef, which doesn't rap like Sosa. Like they're all so different, and I love that. But Lupe in himself, like, just seemed to be such an anomaly with the way his rhymes were set up and the like over your head bars he would do, and and yeah. So I didn't even like at the time even like connect him to Chicago, to a region. I was just like, who is this nerdy cool dude with this like flow that like is unlike anything else I've ever heard? Like I can't even break down his rhyme schemes sometimes. It's like he just switches and he's so different from track to track. It's like, what? This is wild.
Did he did like, I mean, when I listened to the whole album, he just strikes me as being like ridiculously authentic, like the sort of person that, I mean, like I can think of very few people in my life I know who are as just being themselves and unafraid to say what they want and unafraid to just sort of like speak the truth when no one else is saying it out loud. Was that something that like did that appeal to you, or was this sort of the beginning of you seeing the world in a different way because of the way that he was seeing it?
It was a combo. It definitely appealed to me because I've never prided myself, even still today. Like I kind of like innerly bully myself. Like, you need to speak your mind more. You need to say what you mean more. But that's never been an attribute that I like wielded skillfully or easily. So I always admire those who can. And Lupe, yeah, he was like, again at that time, like where gangster rap was just like running everything. He did step out boldly, just like, this is what I like. I like samurai swords, anime, traveling across the country. I'm a black dude, but I don't like Obama.
Right.
I was like, yeah, he was just so in his own lane and really didn't seem to be affected by the opinions of those around him. I admire that. And he did at that time, at least for 2007, Jalen, like open my mind up to like worldly issues and in things that like were just not a part of my world or my limited worldview at that time. And it brought it open. I was like, I don't know. At that time, I had this idea like, oh, if you're black and you're a rapper, you only care about these things here. And
Yeah.
then it came and it was like, you like open it up.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So he opened that up for me and led me down the path to like really liking conscious rap. And I'm from Lupe. I went right into J. Cole a few years later. Kendrick.
Talk about J. Cole. What's J. Cole to you a little bit?
J. Cole's everything, man. I love
Really?
Lupe. J. Cole's favorite rap artist, and primarily for those same reasons. Like Cole came up, I got introduced to Cole like I was in like 9th grade, 10th grade, or something like that. And his flow, his style was just different. He wasn't trying to be the toughest dude. He also brought in some conscious conversations, some things he was dealing with, insecurities and like wanting to be the best, but also recognizing that he needs to work hard at it and not always being the coolest dude at the party. But I just could relate to him. Like I don't, might sound a little archaic, but like Cole kind of championed the beta male for me in a way. Let's say
that. Yes, you have to, because like, that is a thing.
Yeah, because in rap, everybody like wants to be the alpha, wants to be the toughest, the quickest to violence, the quickest to stealing some girl. Like I'm not that dude. I'm not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this what the kids would call Sigma now, though? Is this what that is? I don't even know what that is, honestly.
That was in the New York Times crossword the other day, and I was like, oh no, now people aren't using it anymore. If it's made it to the New York Times crossword, that means it's over. It's over. It's gone.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you said that though, because I do think that when especially like the rap that I was listening to when I was that age too it was like the very specifically like East Coast, West Coast stuff that was about machismo. It was about like a very specific idea of masculinity, and like to have some kind of offshoots of that using the same tropes, but kind of like twisting them to be a little bit more sensitive or a little bit more thoughtful in ways that didn't feel like they had to be so aggro I think it was pretty revelatory, and that's probably why he has had the commercial success he's had, don't you think?
Yeah, because it gives a space for all these different types of, I don't know, just like speaking of like black male, this male period, to show up and like own who they are and feel like they don't have to just fit into this one mold. Like you said, like aggro masculine individual. And like I love that about Cole. Also like Cole and Lupe both, Kendrick as well. Like they're great storytellers. Like as an actor, like and as the type of artist, I love a great story. I don't care what form it comes in, dance, music, painting, all the art forms. I love going on that journey. I love introducing like complicated taboo topics with no clear-cut answer, like difficult truths, unpacked it through story. And Cole does that well. Lupe does it incredibly well. Kendrick does well. So that drew me to these guys too. And a lot of times, like some rap albums I listen to, they're cool, but like there are a few that take their albums and make them an artistic story from beginning to end. So a lot of times it's like banger out the banger, single track, a little R&B here, but a cohesive story from start to finish, like Cole's 2014 Forest Hill Drive, or To Pimp a Butterfly, or Good Kid, Matt, or Lupe's The Cool. Like it's cool to be able to see this almost cinematic journey you could follow with your ears that they put into their work that I seldomly see out there, other rap artists.
There was something kind of also too there about this album. There's, I don't know if I want to say an eccentricity or like maybe just like a variety of like musical styles like throughout the whole thing. I mean, it still sounds like unmistakably him, but I mean, I was sort of looking through the credits and like there's the one song on here featuring and produced by the guy from Fall Out Boy,
Patrick Stump,
on this album, and then there's also the sort of
so 2007. But
yes, very 2007. And then also a song where I think he samples a song from Uncle, which is
Uncle,
which also features, if I'm not mistaken, guitar provided by Queens of the Stone Age's Josh Homme is on there. Like it's just the collaborations and even too, like I didn't even bother to look into like what like where the music was coming from, whether like he was sampling something really specific. But this whatever the sampling is, it sounds original and it sounds cinematic. Like it just, I'm not entirely sure what the whole story is throughout the whole thing, but I know there is one because I feel like he is taking care of his listener all the way through.
All the way through this curated sound. Yeah, and that story in there is like a loose story because like not every track kind of contributes to the story, but it's like just these little touch points on like so you have this guy, the protagonist of sorts, being the Cool, this kind of undead gangster who's like come back to life, wandering the streets and still chasing the glory, but recognizing that it's all for naught. And like the Cool was like raised by the game, who like that persona, like everybody's like, I did it for the game, I'm doing it for the game.
What if it's a real person?
Celebration of the game, which like the track towards the end of the album, Put You on Game. I love that as well. Just talk about how this master manipulator that gets all these young lost souls to chase this dirty rotten route that has no type of payoff for you. And then the third character is Femme Fatale, the streets, with all her allure. And you hear how he references throughout the album how they're influencing, how they're twisting and manipulating. Even my favorites. Well, I don't know if we want to do that now.
Well, we're coming right up. We're coming right up to it.
We're coming up on it.
Yeah.
So my favorite track on the album, "Streets on Fire."
Streets on Fire.
Well, dear viewers / listeners, because you're obviously watching us via the YouTube playlist, which is our preferred method of watching our episodes, the number one way to watch our episodes, you are now about to hear Jamar's standout track. So go ahead, check that out, and then we'll see you on the other side.